Hey guys, welcome to a homeschool book haul. This is kind of going to be two parts-ish. I just got an order in from Book Outlet that I really want to share with you, but we have a couple books coming in tomorrow that we're going to be giving to the kids for Easter. We've never done any kind of like Easter basket stuff, but I wanted to put in a little bit more effort, but also not go over the top and have it be a second Christmas. So we're getting them each a book that they're going to be using in their homeschool. So I want to film that after I actually have the books here to show you. So I'm going to start with the Book Outlet haul. These books. It's a big box. I have just been so inspired for our homeschool. I have so many videos planned in my head that will be coming here in the next few weeks. I'm deciding that we are going to do a bit of a summer school for a variety of reasons I'll share in a few videos. So I'm planning that, plus planning our fall. And some of these resources you will see crop up. Some of them were just a really good price, so I bought them now knowing we'll use them in the future. If you guys have never purchased from Book Outlet, they are I don't know what they are. I think they're a surplus store in some ways, a book surplus store. People send their books that they can't sell there. They're new books. Sometimes they're damaged, but generally not, and they are at a very discounted price. We get a lot of our homeschool books from there. If you've never ordered from there before, I will leave my link below. You can get $5 off your first order. It also gives me points for $5 towards my next order. If you are Canadian, a weird little trick that I do is I still order from the American Book Outlet for a couple of reasons. One, if you're going to share your Book Outlet code, you get $5 Canadian or $5 American. $5 American is more, so why not go that way? And the second thing is you get, for every dollar you spend, I guess this kind of works out. For every dollar you spend, you get a point or some points or a certain amount of points. And I don't know, maybe it doesn't work actually, but in my mind, I feel like you get more points ordering the American way. I don't know. Either way, I like to share my link. I've gotten probably hundreds of dollars of books for free from there because of it. So it works out a little better if I share the American link. Okay. I will share all these books. I'll share the link to Book Outlet, my referral link. Then I will also share the links to Amazon in case you'd prefer to go that way or if you want to compare the prices. Okay, so this one is Bedtime Classics, A Little Princess. This is one of my favorite books and I just wanted to get the kids hooked. Also, I personally love these illustrations. I might have even ordered it even if we didn't have a 3-year-old. It's the entire story of a little princess told very cutely in these illustrations. So yeah, I couldn't leave this one. I don't normally buy like board books or such abridged versions of stories, but I couldn't pass this one up. Plus, it is one of my favorite books. So I got that. We'll just go with Frances Hodgson Burnett because I got a couple of her books. Another one I got is Little Lord Fauntleroy in the Puffins Classics edition. I have read this book. It's about 7-year-old Cedric. He gets quite a shock when he's whisked away from the streets of New York to an English stately home. He gets an even bigger shock when he discovers he will inherit a great fortune and a title. So I read this years ago and I feel like I didn't get out as much of it as I could if I were to reread it, so I would like to reread it at some point as well as get my kids to read it. I'd never even heard of this book. Looking on Book Outlet was the first time I'd ever heard of it. Apparently I can't say her name today. Frances Hodgson Burnett also has The Lost Prince. I didn't even read what it was about. I was just like, okay, book by her I've never read, order. 12-year-old Marco has spent his life moving from place to place with his father, Stefan. But one day he learns the secret that his father has been hiding. The heir to the throne of their home country of Samavia, which has been in turmoil ever since the king was overthrown 500 years ago, is ready to reclaim the throne and restore peace to the country. And Stefan knows the identity of the lost prince. It's actually, this is quite a large book. It's like 500, just over 500 pages long. Never had heard of it. definitely want to read it. Okay, one more of her books, Frances Hodgson Burnett. I got it. But in a different, this is the Seven Seas Entertainment, kind of like a manga style cover, A Little Princess. I definitely own this book already. Did I need this cover? I think so. Cute little illustrations throughout. Love that. There's even some bigger illustrations. Let's see. There's quite a few like partial page. Oh, so cute. Yeah, I definitely needed this in my life. So A Little Princess is about a girl named Sarah Crew. She goes to boarding school as her father goes off to war, and oh, there's even, oh, I didn't know this. There's a cast of characters. Miss Minchin, the head mistress of the school, is kind of a terrible lady, honestly, and Sarah's father ends up dying in war, and Miss Minchin ends up turning her into a slave or a servant in the school, treating her poorly. And what I love is Sarah, she is such a great example of character. She is a wonderful girl when she's rich, but she is also wonderful even though she struggles, and like she's not loving being a servant, but she has such a great outlook on life. It's such a good example. So that's one of the reasons I love this book so much. We just watched the 1995 movie, I think last month or the month before, together as a family because I wanted to watch it, and I made everyone watch it with me. I said, you guys get cookies if you watch it with me. That movie has a different ending than the book. I like that movie better, their ending better, but the book is pretty good too. Okay, then in that same Seven Seas Entertainment manga illustration style, I got Pollyanna. I have never owned this book. I have read it and grew up watching the, like the 1970s version of the movie a few times. Pollyanna as well, I feel like it seems to be a good character to learn from. From what I remember, she's a little bit more perfect, which can be hard for kids to relate to sometimes, but I want to reread it because it's been years since I've read it. Shakespeare is something that we're going to be learning soon in our homeschool. After I get my feet under me and figure out Shakespeare myself. I took it in school, didn't really understand a lot of it, but Book Outlet has a lot of these no fear Shakespeare side-by-side type books. So you've got the regular Shakespeare, the original Shakespeare on the one side, and then you've got the modern day text on the other side. So I think this is going to be so very helpful for the kids, for me, etc. I got Romeo and Juliet and Macbeth. So if you look on their site, at the time of purchasing these were both $2.50. The other Shakespeare books, which I think they had pretty much all of them, were $5 or $6. So I got the cheaper ones for now. So we can start with Romeo and Juliet and Macbeth. I'm okay with that. And then if we like them, then I can buy the other ones. Or if I see the other ones going like down in price, then I can grab them. Hopefully these will help us. I really went hard on the classics train. I got the Merry Adventures of Robin Hood by Howard Pyle. I don't know, like there's so many different Robin Hood books, and I even own one, but I've heard good things about his version, so I wanted to grab it. I was surprised to find it on Book Outlet, to be honest. This is the Signature Classics edition. Love the cover. I think this would be a great one to read with my 10-year-old maybe next year. I'm not sure. Yeah, just all about the classics right now. And then I was really excited to find this. I found That Was Then, This Is Now by S.E. Hinton, the author of The Outsiders. She wrote a couple other books as well, but other than The Outsiders, this is really the only one I hear people talk about. And this has to do with friends, Byron and Mark, that are closest brothers, and it kind of sounds like there might be some similarities to The Outsiders as far as like them having a bit of a rough childhood or something. I don't really know where the book is going to go, but I read The Outsiders a year ago. Was it only a year ago? And then my daughter instantly read it after me, and it's one of her favorite books. So I want to read this, and if it's good, pass it on to her. Maybe it will be a favorite for both of us as well. Then I did something outside the box for me. I bought the Winnie the Pooh collection, which I'm gonna open right now once I grab a scissor. One thing I'm trying to get better at is reading chapter books aloud. I'm realizing the only way I'm gonna get better is by doing it. I have tried reading Winnie the Pooh before and struggled a bit, but in the last couple of weeks, I currently own the first book, Winnie the Pooh, but I saw these on Book Outlet, and I could have bought the other ones separate, but it would have been more expensive to buy them all, like 3 of them separate, as opposed to just buying the collection. So I just bought the collection, and the other edition will just end up in a little free library. So, and these have the E.H. Shepard illustrations. So the 5-year-old and I have started reading this. We've been reading it for the last couple of weeks, and I'm getting into it. I do enjoy the Winnie the Pooh show, which is like pretty much exactly this. So this has Winnie the Pooh, the house at Pooh Corner, when we were very young, and now we are 6. So this one, now we are 6. No, when we were very young. I feel like we used to own these, and then I got rid of them for some reason. I have a bad habit of getting rid of books and then regretting it. One or both of these are like poetry. This is nursery poems, and so is this. I really liked one of them more than the other. Why did I get rid of them? I don't know. So I want to go through these with the kindergartner / I guess he'll be grade 1 by the fall. I'm working on creating Charlotte Mason style curriculum outlines for each of my kids. If you guys are interested in that at all, that will be coming. One lone picture book. I found Miss Rumphius. I love picture books. Sometimes I just have a hard time spending money on picture books, so when I can get them from Book Outlet for under $5, it makes me excited. Or if I can find them thrifting, which a lot of our picture books are thrifted. But at the same time, we reread picture books so very much. I should be able to justify the money for it more, but I've gotten this one out from the library multiple times. It's about a woman who planted a bunch of flowers all along a certain state, which I don't remember. It's been a long time since we got it out. Yeah, so I like the emphasis on nature. Very Charlotte Mason-esque. Then I got ballet shoes. I own skating shoes in this edition. They're so beautiful. I have read this book. Oh, my battery's gonna die. I'm gonna switch it out, then I'm gonna talk. Okay, good to go. I've read this book multiple times, and I read Skating Shoes, I think 2 years ago. And I wonder if Kathleen Kelly / You've Got Mail brought these books back, because in the movie she says there was just a certain one that was out of print. I don't remember which one. But now they have like these beautiful covers, and I wonder if it's because of that movie. So I'm excited to have this beautiful book to display on my shelf alongside skating shoes. Oh wait, ballet shoes? This is the problem. I always get ballet shoes and dancing shoes mixed up. I have dancing shoes in this edition. Not nearly as good of a cover, let me just say. This one I have not read. Ballet shoes, I've read twice. Skating shoes I've read. I think I got it figured out now. In my video 2 weeks ago, the first one I posted when I came back talking about our homeschool changes, you guys gave so many suggestions on a different curriculum to look up. I spent the entire day after that video went live, or the next day, both of the days, just looking all that stuff up and continuing as the comments came in. One of the curriculums that was shared, now I don't remember which one, used the Baker's Bible Atlas for something. I think oh my goodness, or maybe it was in a different video. Somewhere, someone shared a curriculum. It might have been on my personal channel when I shared about different ways to read and study the Bible. People mentioned, I think it was that one. Someone mentioned this homeschool curriculum that they were using for themselves or had used for themselves as well. And it used this Baker's Bible Atlas. Now I bought this because it was on Book Outlet and I thought it would be an interesting resource. Now I need to go back and see if I can find that curriculum and if the shipping is acceptable for me to purchase it, or if I'm just going to kind of read through this on my own and then eventually assign it as well. So this has, how is it even broken up? There's tons of different maps, charts and diagrams. So there's the world of the Old Testament, the land of Palestine, table of the nations, lots of different pictures and maps. Yeah, we've owned, or maybe do own, something kind of similar. I've never used them. And so I just want to find a good way to use this and like actually glean the information from here. And the last book for now, until we get more books in tomorrow, is A Chance to Die by Elizabeth Elliot. I was so excited to find this on Book Outlet. I've wanted to read this book forever. So it's the life and legacy of Amy Carmichael, written by Elizabeth Elliot. Like, what a good combination. This will be featured in a video to come. I will say that. Very, very excited to read this. Won't really say much. It's Amy Carmichael's biography written by Elizabeth Elliot. I feel like I don't need to say more words than that. So yeah, I will be back shortly. Okay, I'm back for part 2 of this book haul. I also forgot about something that I bought that I want to share. I bought Learn Math Fast, the first volume. This was mentioned in my video where I said I was coming back and we're changing a bunch of things, and a lot of different math programs were mentioned and recommended and different solutions to the problems that I was talking about in that video. And one person mentioned Math Fast. It's not like it was the most recommended, but I looked it up and it seemed like a good fit. So I purchased it. Plus, for me, I could buy this from Amazon for $35, and yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about what the Learn Math Fast system is and kind of why we went this route very quickly. But if you guys want a like more in-depth review after we've used it for longer, we've been using it for a couple weeks now, let me know, and I could totally do that, sharing some of like the pros and the cons and stuff. But in short, there are 6 books in the Learn Math Fast system, 6 volumes, and that is all the math you need to know. It says like in high school, but I mean, I think it's more than I learned in high school, and I took calculus and like university math and stuff. So this first volume covers addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And I think that was all. And a little bit on US standard measurements, which will be a little different because we are Canadian. But the idea here is mastery. You don't go to the next lesson until you've mastered the lesson that you're on, kind of thing. So things move pretty quickly. I bought this first volume. Plan was to use this for my 13-year-old and 10-year-old. And for my 10-year-old, we started at the beginning, which is what you're supposed to do. And we just started with like very basic addition. Adding, okay, so my one con is the font that they use in this book. I don't know if it's Comic Sans, but if it's not Comic Sans, it's something very similar. So you start by adding and subtracting numbers up to 5 for the first lesson. So very basic. I knew he knew it, but I just thought it does progress really quickly. We'll start at the beginning, it'll be easy. So that's where we've started and where the book says you should start. And it suggests you do a few lessons in one day if your kids are more advanced. For my 13-year-old, I thought she would be a little insulted if we started with that basic of addition. So we started on chapter 3, which is multiplication, and like right at the beginning of multiplication, which I think she also felt a little insulted by that we started there. But I know that she doesn't have her multiplication table completely memorized. And so I thought, well, if we start at the bottom, then we'll just get more practice with it. And we are only doing 1 lesson a day instead of like doing multiple. So yeah, it's It's simple. You read the lesson and then there's a worksheet to go with it, and they have some examples on their website, like different games you can do to like cement in some of this, some of the concepts better. There's some really cool ways to like remember how to add and subtract certain things, some different tricks, and they also have all the worksheets on their website that you get the code for when you buy the book. So this is not a consumable book. I mean, it could be. You could get them to write the answers on this page with a worksheet, but I'm just printing them off. So $35 for a volume that I'm going to be using for all my kids is a really good price. And there's only 6 of them. So if I pay $35 for each of them, that saves me a lot of money compared to a lot of math curriculums. We will see long term how it is, but so far in general we are enjoying it and I'm finding it's working. But if you guys want a like longer, more in-depth review and stuff, I can give you that. Now onto my Amazon order. This I think I said in the first clip, is kind of like our Easter basket stuff. So we've never done Easter baskets before. Honestly, I'm lucky if I remember to buy candy. I'm not good at celebrating different things. Like, I wish I was, and it's something I've tried multiple times to get better at, and it's just something I think I'm going to have to continue to try to work on for the rest of my life. But this year, we planned ahead. We bought a couple books for their Easter baskets, which it won't actually be a basket, but a little gift. But I didn't want Easter to turn into like another Christmas and for us to like completely lose the whole point of Easter. So my thought was, let's buy them something that we can also use in our homeschool, something that will help them grow spiritually in some way. And so they haven't seen these yet. This will be coming in Easter time here. So for the youngest, the 3-year-old, I was actually I found her a little harder, but we ended up going with The Biggest Story ABC by Kevin DeYoung. This is a board book and I've been pleasantly surprised by it. So this is the story, The Biggest Story, told with ABCs. So A is in the beginning God created Adam with an A, and Eve, everything was beautiful in God's good world. So there's B. So it's like learning the alphabet, but then it goes through the entire story. S for his own son to come and save his people from their sins. God sent Jesus to die upon a tree. Yeah, so I'm excited about this. I have a feeling we're going to be using this a lot, and I think it'll be good to just like reinforce the ABCs as well. For the 5-year-old, we spent the most money, but this is also not really just for him. I'm going to be reading this as part of our morning time, starting when we start our summer session, which I'm currently putting the final touches on. I finally bought The Biggest Story Bible storybook. So I don't know if I've mentioned on here or if it's just been in my membership site, but we have been watching the videos with these. So this is a children's Bible with very different illustrations, let me just say. And the videos are in this illustration style too. And it took me a little while, and I'm still kind of like, do I like it? Do I not? I'm not sure. And it's broken up into different chapters. So chapter 1 is And So It Begins, which is Genesis 1 and 2. I do like the colors, all the colors in the pictures. And there's a prayer to end each chapter. A very bad day. So this is a big book. It's actually quite a bit bigger than I was expecting, and it does have a ribbon as well. So that's what we got the 5-year-old, but it will be used by everybody, I think. Also, I should show you, because this is also really pretty. I love the embossing on the cover. Let's see if I can get it closer so it will show you. The cover is really cool and embossed, and then here on the side, I love the metallic. For the 10-year-old, I decided to go with a series that we have read numerous books in, and we've actually listened to this one, but it's been a very long time. I got him Nate Saint, the Christian Heroes Then and Now book. From what I remember of Nate Saint is he's very inquisitive and figures out how things work, and his personality I think goes really well with my son. And so I thought this would be good. We are going to be starting this after Easter. I'm going to get him reading like a chapter a day. So I'm looking forward to this a lot because I think he's going to really enjoy the story. Like I said, we did read it a long time ago, but I don't think he really remembers it because he was quite young then. So if you don't know, Nate Saint is one of the missionary men that was killed in Ecuador by they called them Al-Qaeda, and there was another name for them, Waruni people. He was with Jim Elliot and I forget the other guys' names, but it's a very interesting story. And there's multiple different places to hear their stories. So like Elizabeth Elliot has written some, and Nate Saint's son Steve Saint has a book called End of the Spear. And then also Nate Saint's sister Rachel also went out here after he was killed, so her story is a really good follow-up as well. And then for my 13-year-old, I had a couple different options. This one maybe was a bit of a selfish choice because I also want to read it. This is Brant Hansen's newest book, Life is Hard, God is Good, Let's Dance. Experiencing real joy in a world gone mad. And she has been reading like all of his books lately, so I thought she would enjoy this. He has such an easy to read writing style, but it's also like not light topics. In this one it says, as you read about what God is doing in the world, you will learn to be at peace in a world of anxiety and anger, completely trust the character and promises of God, live each day with a joyful, simple faith. So I think this one will be perfect for her. So that's what they're getting in their like baskets. And that is all for this homeschool haul. I mean, it's a lot of books considering I'm trying to get rid of books because we're going to be moving, but I think they will be really good additions to our homeschool. If you guys have been purchasing any good books lately, or if you have some great different missionary or like Christian heroes of faith biography suggestions, I would love to hear them. I did ask this question on Instagram and got some really good sounding answers, but I'm curious to hear more ideas. Let's just talk about all the books and homeschool resources in the comments. Thanks for being here, guys.